Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AM Buffalo. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday morning. I'm your host, Courtney Corbetta. Well, before we get started, just a quick reminder to follow Linda and I on social media. If you happen to be on Facebook or Twitter, it's a great way to keep up with AM Buffalo. So if you happen to miss us at 10 a.m., not a big deal, because we'll be sure to keep you in the loop on the morning show with videos and pictures. We will definitely keep you entertained. All you have to do is give us a like or follow, and you'll never have to miss out. And now we're going to change gears this morning and welcome Erie County Health Commissioner Dr. Gale Burstein to the show. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Yeah, good morning.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. You know, we haven't seen you in a little bit, but I know you've been busy with the new year preparing for a free clinic for the furry loved ones in our lives.
Sure. So on January 30th, we're going to be offering our first of the year a rabies vaccine clinic for your favorite dogs, cats, and ferrets. So this is going to be at the North Buffalo Community Center on Sanders Road in North Buffalo, just off of Colvin and between Colvin and Delaware, before Kenmore. And it's a great opportunity to people to not only protect their furry friends from exposure and infection of rabies, but also indirectly you know yourself and your family, because we know that there are a lot of live wildlife out there, and many times we're kind of the suburban sprawl, we're expanding into forests where wildlife had their usual habitat, and so they're coming. It's easier for them to come into our homes, and we're seeing a lot of bats. The summers have been with global warming. We're seeing a lot of more hot summers. Bats coming into people's attics and bedrooms to try to escape the heat, and that's really been our major exposure. And also, I mean, we're seeing other wildlife like skunks and raccoons, and so if your pets are going outside, even if they're like indoor cats or dogs, sometimes they might escape, or sometimes a critter might come inside and visit you. So it's really important to get these animals immunized to protect them. We know that if you are infected with rabies, it's 100% fatal. Oh, so wow. Yeah, we recently in the United States, we had an individual, somebody who was traveling in India, and she was bitten by a puppy in India, and then she returned home to the United States, and she was infected with rabies from the dog bite, and she ended up dying because they didn't figure out what she had until it was too late. So unfortunately, there are still people in the United States that die of a rabies because of an animal bite, like a dog bite. Right. So it's really important that all our animals are immunized.
Well, you just never know, and that's why you have to stay prepared. With a clinic like this, what should you bring with you besides your cat or dog or ferret?
Excellent question. So just like for our kids, you want to bring the old shot records, just so we know if this is a first vaccine or if it's a booster dose, so we can certify that and complete your paperwork and let you know more accurately when the next dose should be due. And
this isn't the first time the Erie County Department of Health has held clinics like this. How successful have the rabies clinics been in the past?
Well, it really varies on the weather, because sometimes when we have this January clinic in North Buffalo, it's like snow.
Like this weekend?
Right, but this is hopefully at the end of January 30th, there won't be snow. And but we've had, and sometimes we have over 1,000 animals come in to get immunized. So it's very popular, because these vaccines, if you get them and you pay out of pocket at a vet, I mean, it'll cost you hundreds of dollars. So why not get them free?
And how often should your pet get the rabies vaccination?
Well, it depends if it's a booster or a regular rabies, but it's every couple years. So it's it's really important to stay on top of it.
Just say that your pet does have rabies. What are some signs and symptoms that we should be aware of?
Well, the problem, excuse me, I'm a little cold myself. The problem is that rabies, ultimately, it kills us by infecting our brain.
Right.
So if you have an infected brain, your behavior is not going to be usual. That's why you should be on the alert if, say, a raccoon or a skunk is like walking around, like sniffing you out during the day, because they're nocturnal animals and they don't like humans, and so them coming out like during the day and approaching humans is like really wrong. That's like not their usual behavior. So if your animal is kind of more as like change in behavior, used to be a good dog or a friendly cat, and then it turns aggressive and even might bite, or just not stop eating, like acting like it's ill. It's kind of non-specific. So again, with a dog or a cat or even a ferret, it can be difficult to know what's going on. But we unfortunately we have seen rabies infected animals in the county, and so if you immunize them, if they're up to date with their vaccines, you don't have to worry about it.
And with a clinic like this, you make it nice and easy, so it's good we're keeping our animals safe.
Yes, we try really hard. Because again, if you have an infected animal in your house, I mean, then you all could be potentially exposed, because if the dog or the cat does become symptomatic and does have behavior change, they're probably going to scratch you or bite you. Even licking you will expose you, because it's carried in the saliva.
Okay.
So it's and then everybody will have to get the rabies vaccine series. So the rabies vaccine series, we know it's if you get it in time, for humans, it's 100% effective. So nobody dies if they get the post-exposure prophylaxis on time. And so that's within, we really want to start it within 10 days after exposure. So it's not like, oh, I got to start it within 6 hours. You have a few days. However, we do know that you want to start before you develop symptoms, because after that, it's too late. There's no treatment for it.
Yeah, and we definitely do not want that. Dr. Gale, before we wrap up, should you sign up ahead of time for the clinic, or can you just show up?
Just walk in.
Walk right on in and you'll be taken care of. And where again is this happening?
Again, it's at the North Buffalo Community Center on Saunders Road, right off between Colvin and Delaware. So it's, even if they're, initially there's usually like a little bit of a whine, but it goes through really fast. And as a pediatrician, I'm always surprised how easy it is to immunize dogs, cats, and ferrets. Like, they don't fight about it. They're like, mess, who cares?
It's easier than you and I, because I know I don't like shots.
Right, or like a little kid, a lot of times you have to hold them down. But like these dogs and cats and ferrets, they're just like in and out.
This is not going to be the case for our pets. Dr. Burstein, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. All right, everybody, calling all dog, cat, and ferret owners, the Erie County Department of Health is hosting a free rabies vaccination clinic on January 30th. So mark your calendars and take care of the furry loved ones in your life. And we'll be right back after the break.